You have done it again. You are standing directly in front of someone you have met at least 3 times, maybe 4. They are smiling, leaning in, clearly waiting for a warm greeting. And in that exact microsecond, their name is just gone. It is not even hovering at the tip of your tongue. It is completely, cleanly absent, like a file that was never saved in the first place. What follows is the next 12 seconds of pure improvised theater you are about to perform. You subtly angle your body, desperately hoping someone else in the room says their name first. You pray for their phone to ring, or for the building to catch fire, or for the earth to just open up and swallow you whole. We have all been there. It is a specific kind of social horror that leaves you feeling cold, rude, and maybe even a little bit unintelligent. But here is the truth that will change everything. Those of you who chronically, consistently forget names are not careless. You are not dismissive. And you are certainly not as slow-witted as you have been led to believe. There is a very specific, high-speed biological collision happening inside your prefrontal cortex. Once you understand the why, you will never feel that shame spiral ever again. To understand why your brain betrays you, we have to look at a fascinating piece of psychological history from 1987. Researchers McWeeny and Ellis discovered something called the Baker-Baker paradox, and it is the smoking gun for why names vanish so easily. Imagine I show 2 different people the exact same photograph of a man. I tell the first person, "This man is a baker." I tell the second person, "This man's last name is Baker." Days later, the first person remembers the man's profession almost instantly, but the second person, they usually draw a total blank on the name. Why? Because the word baker as a job is a mental explosion. When I say someone is a baker, your brain starts firing in a dozen directions. You smell fresh bread. You see white flour on an apron. You think of early mornings and warmth. You have an entire web of associations to hook that information onto. But baker as a name? It is a dead end. It is what psychologists call semantically empty. It has no roots. It does not connect to a feeling, a memory, or an image. It is just an arbitrary sound sitting in isolation. Your brain is an incredibly efficient machine. It does not like to waste energy on things that do not mean anything. It preferentially holds on to the why and the how, but it ruthlessly discards the label. Think about it. A name is basically a social sticker. But while you are trying to navigate a new conversation, your brain is too busy building the actual furniture of the relationship to worry about where the sticker went. You are not failing to remember a person. You are simply failing to prioritize a sound that, to your subconscious, carries no weight at all. To understand how your brain decides what to keep, think about the last funeral you attended. You probably remember the heavy silence in the room. You remember the specific smell of the lilies, the way the sunlight hit the wooden pews, or the exact moment someone's voice cracked during a eulogy. You remember the shared grief and the profound sense of loss. But let me ask you this. Do you remember what was printed on the order of service? Do you remember the font size, the paper texture, or the exact list of hymns on page 2? Probably not. And that is because your brain made a ruthless executive decision without ever consulting you. It decided that the printed text did not matter. What mattered was the experience. It was the living part of the event. Names are the order of service. Everything else about a person is the funeral. Everything that makes a human being real. Their kindness, their sharp wit, the way they tilt their head when they are thinking, the intensity in their eyes. That is what your brain is busy cataloging. When you forget a name, it is actually evidence of something beautiful. It proves that you were not just scanning a barcode. You were engaging with a soul. You were so busy absorbing the texture of who they are that you simply didn't have room for the arbitrary label assigned to them. Your brain is not failing you. It is prioritizing the deep connection over the surface data. You are choosing the symphony over the sheet music. Now, if the Baker-Baker paradox explains why names are hard to store, there is another phenomenon that explains why they often don't even make it past the front door of your mind. It is called the next-in-line effect. Think about the last time you were in a group, and everyone was introducing themselves one by one. As the person before you starts speaking, what is your brain doing? Are you listening to their name? Probably not. Instead, you are internally narrating. You are rehearsing. Okay, my turn is coming. Stand up straight. Should I tell that joke? Is my voice going to crack? Do I have something in my teeth? By the time the person right next to you says, "Hi, I'm Sarah," your working memory is already at 100% capacity. It is full of stage directions, self-corrections, and social anxiety. There is quite literally no physical desk space left in your prefrontal cortex to place Sarah's name. This is not a memory problem. It is a preoccupation problem. For many of us, this doesn't just happen in groups. It happens in every single one-on-one introduction. Because you care so deeply about being liked, or about coming across as professional and warm, you are hyper-editing yourself in real time. You are checking your eye contact. You are calibrating your handshake. You are wondering if you just interrupted them. The name enters your ear, hovers for a fraction of a second, and then get bulldozed by your own internal monologue. You were so busy trying to be there for the interaction that you weren't actually there for the information. You weren't being dismissive. You were just trying too hard to be perfect. And perfectionism is the enemy of retention. If you are someone who constantly forgets names, it is time to stop viewing your brain as broken and start seeing its unique architecture. Most chronic name forgetters share a fascinating trait. They are highly associative thinkers. Your memory is not a filing cabinet of dry facts. It is a rich, vibrant map of contexts and connections. You might not remember that the woman standing in front of you is named Karen, but you remember the exact shade of melancholy in her voice when she mentioned her childhood home. You remember the way her face lit up when talking about her favorite book. This is the fundamental trade-off of the human mind. Some brains are built like high-speed hard drives, excellent at storing isolated, raw data like names, dates, and serial numbers. But your brain is built for storytelling and emotional attunement. You are a context-first processor. You are so busy recording the texture of a person, their values, their energy, their hidden stories, that you simply don't have the mechanical bandwidth left to memorize a one-syllable label. In a world that prizes quick data, your ability to feel a person rather than just label them is a rare gift. It makes you a better listener, a more empathetic friend, and a deeper observer of the human condition. You aren't failing at memory. You are succeeding at something much more difficult. You are witnessing the actual person, while everyone else is just reading the name tag. None of this means you should just give up on trying to remember. But it does mean you should change how you try. Since your brain refuses to store raw data automatically, you have to do it manually. You have to build a bridge. When someone says, "Hi, I am Kevin," do not just nod. Say it back immediately. "Kevin, it is great to meet you, Kevin." Then do the work of an associative thinker. Connect him to something that already has a home in your mind. If Kevin is wearing a bright yellow sweater, imagine him as a giant lemon. If he mentions he loves dogs, picture him walking a golden retriever. You are essentially turning a baker back into a baker, giving that rootless sound a place to plant itself. But more importantly, I want you to release the shame. The quiet, low-grade belief that forgetting names makes you an uncaring person is simply wrong. You are not absent. You are someone whose brain prioritizes the soul over the syllabus. A name is the single least interesting thing about a human being. It is just an arbitrary sound assigned to them before they had ever done a single thing worth remembering. The part of them that matters, the way they laugh, the things they fear, the unique texture of their character. That is what you have been holding on to this whole time. So the next time you forget a name, do not spiral into an apology. Just stay curious. Because you didn't forget the person. You just forgot the label. And the person was always the point. Thank you for watching. If you want to dive deeper into the mysteries of the human mind, check out the links below. And do not forget to subscribe for more insights into why we do the things we do.